Hello and welcome to Real Watchers Movie Club. My name is Garrett.
And I'm Kevin.
And we are your hosts. Movie Club's a show we pick a movie every week and discuss it just like a book club. On today's show, we're going to be concluding our July month-long theme of looking at movies that are older than the 1940s. And the movie today is the 1933 crime thriller, A Shriek in the Night. Our thoughts and more are coming up on Movie Club. Released in 1933, A Shriek in the Night was directed by Albert Ray and stars Ginger Rogers, Lyle Talbot, and Harvey Clark. Rival newspaper reporters Pat Morgan and Ted Rand find themselves unraveling the mystery behind the death of a millionaire philanthropist who fell from his penthouse balcony. When it is discovered that the plunge was not an accident, the building's residents come under suspicion. The film currently has a 2.9 out of 5 on Letterboxd. Before we dive into our thoughts, though, we do want to issue a spoiler warning for the movie. We're going to go ahead and talk about everything that happens over the course of this movie, and we don't want to ruin it for you if you want to check it out for yourself, which you can do on Tubi, I believe is where it's streaming right now for free. But stay tuned to find at the end of the show what we're going to be talking about next week, because we're starting a brand new theme, and it's one that we've been really excited about for a long time. Alrighty, Kevin, A Shriek in the Night was your choice this week, and what made you pick it?
It looked like a crime drama from before 1940, so wanted to check it out, and it did help that it was like an hour long as well. I just wanted something maybe a little
6 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, it was a short little one, and I will let you know the freaking poster looks sick, but we'll get into that.
Yeah, it is a sick poster. It almost makes a cop look like Frankenstein from what we're looking at here. But yeah, I mean, I had never heard of this movie before.
No, me neither.
So I was like wondering, I was like, how the heck did Kevin find it if I even hadn't heard of it? But hey, you know what? It was a part of the theme is watching older movies, and there's a lot out there that we don't know. I actually realized later that I actually have this as a part of...
like the collection box or something?
Yeah, it was one of these ones, like Dark Crimes or something. Is it a Shriek in the Night or something like that? It might be in one of these, but anyhow, it's yeah. Let's just go ahead and get into it.
Should we just rip the Band-Aid off?
Yeah, this movie fucking sucks.
it looked absolutely horrible. Like I was so intrigued the first 3 minutes when the body falls. Granted, it's a dummy body that falls, which is hilarious in itself when it falls out.
Yeah, but it's surprisingly realistic for 1933.
Exactly. But I was like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be even somewhat good. And then it's a bunch of stupid ass reporters trying to get the story first. And it didn't get into the crime aspect, which I really enjoy with crime movies. Weirdly enough,
it never became interesting at all. I knew, I remember when I turned on the movie, and when you watched this on Tubi, I don't know if it was the same for you.
I watched it on Tubi too. So
okay,
yes.
So you got the colorized version.
No,
yours wasn't colorized.
No, mine was black and white.
Oh, mine was colorized.
Oh, that's horrible.
Terrible. I mean, that didn't affect the movie, its quality itself, but it was just such an immediately from the start, I was just like, this isn't good. But I knew this was going to be bad when there's an actual written piece of dialogue in this movie that it's a detective and his assistant or something, and it's like, oh well, he fell from the window or whatever, and the assistant's like, well, what makes you say that? And he's like, well, I'm a detective. I can say whatever I want.
Yep,
it was the dumbest fucking line. I had to rewind it 2 or 3 times to make sure I heard it correctly. And my mom was in the other room, and she's just like, "What the hell did I just hear?" It was bad. That was really. It made me chuckle. I will admit, it made me laugh. But I will say, I do want to talk about the one good part of this movie.
I have a couple good parts in this actually. So
maybe it'll line up. I thought Ginger Rogers was good.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Enough. Good enough.
For a bad movie, she was the best part in this.
She was carrying this so she was carrying this so hard. entire movie on her shoulders. And this is very early in her career. She's not doing this stuff with Fred Astaire yet. And, you know, she's got some good wit. But then, of course, she has to become a damsel in distress, and that's where she just loses any kind of interest. So,
yes.
There is that. I will also say, like, there is something kind of special about the idea of reporters being the one that goes after the criminal. I will say that there's a better movie from this same time period called M, which we've talked about.
Which we've covered.
Which was way better and does a similar concept. So it's not necessarily original here. But, man, I think for a 66-minute movie, this felt slower than The Odyssey.
I could definitely say that, yeah, because it doesn't, again, it's not about the crime that happens. It's about everything else around the crime that happens. And like, for me, I'm not a huge reporter person or anything like that, but like, they never got you like, yeah, can you send this to this person and write this down and blah, blah, blah. And it was just like, it's them trying to get the story out to their publisher before the other person does. And that's not a crime movie to me. That's just trying to save your job kind of movie. I don't know how to say it, but it wasn't based on the crime. It was based on trying to get the best story out of a murder scene. Yeah.
And I mean, like, it kind of feels like what people would have said, like, for, Civil War, the movie.
Yeah.
It almost feels like that, where you're going in expecting one thing and then you're getting a story about reporters. But, like, that movie was really good because journalists were a good way to show both sides of any kind of conflict. Whereas here, no, it's just annoying.
Yes, it is.
I mean, Ginger Rogers is fine, but, man, the guy is
everybody else suffer in this. And I do want to say I'd like to one shot in this.
I was going to go ahead and actually ask what your positives were, because we kind of overrid those for a second.
Oh, that's okay. One of the positives was one of the shots of the shadow in on the wall. I mean, it's not a hard shot to do, but a 1933 shot doing that with the supposed killer. The killer's the janitor. Who would have guessed? But it's the shot that he does is over like a furnace pipe or something like that, and he looks really creepy and odd. And I thought that was going to get the movie back on track. It doesn't. And I just like how they should have played more with this as well. I really like the janitor playing with the pipes and making it a shriek in the night. And that had a really good, interesting thing going along for it, but then it just doesn't go anywhere. It just stops. It's like, oh my gosh, that's the pipes. So what are we going to write about? And it's like, okay, but that's like the whole part of this. Like, what do you hear women screaming or men, and you just don't be like, oh yes, I know exactly what that is because we went down to the boiler room and that's happening there. And it's like, that they could have drugged that on maybe a little bit longer to see what the hell's going on, something like that. It puts an idea in my head and then it goes, yeah, about that idea, we're not going to go with that.
Yeah, it's really bad. It's so unrelentingly boring. Like,
but it could have been like a decent movie,
really cool. Like, I don't know why. Obviously, this is early in film's career. It's early in film's history. So I get it. But, like, I just don't understand why it had to do it like this. Like, it's cool to do it from the perspective of
the reporters.
The reporters. It's not very particularly original. Like, my another big problem I had, too, was just the camera quality of this movie. And obviously,
you were saying how it was in color. The black and white version on Tubi 2 was very flickery and not the greatest either, but it was probably horrible for you.
It may be the scan or the print of the film, but I've seen films from the 20s that look crystal clear and better.
Wings looked better than this that I checked out, I think 2 weeks ago. Looked amazing.
So this was clearly made for way less of a budget, maybe not a major studio. That probably is the case here. or early in the studio's life. It could have been too. But it just definitely feels cheaper. It feels rushed, which is funny because I say it feels rushed, but then it feels slow as molasses. It just does not do anything. It's not interesting. The mystery, whatever mystery is here, isn't good.
It gets lost in the reporters being reporters. It's like, I wanted to know what happened to this person, and
the whole stupid forced like romance part of it. Like, oh, you're a single woman in the 1930s, and I'm a man, which means that we're going to end up together at the end of this movie because you don't have any agency over yourself.
I saved you at the end of this movie.
I saved your life means you're going to give me 6 kids. No, it's really freaking dumb.
It is.
Unfortunately. And it also just feels like it's treating its audience like morons. Like it doesn't feel smart. It doesn't feel well written. It doesn't feel well paced. It's not well performed. It's not well shot. I mean, except for Ginger Rogers. Ginger Rogers is the only good part of this movie. I got a crush. Ginger Rogers is great.
Yeah, it's just no one else stands out. Not even the villain in this and the murderer in this. And we never really know. Like, obviously, he gets pushed out of the what's it called? The window. But it's like, but why? We don't really get a reason why that he does this. Or I probably missed it because I was so bored while watching this.
Kind of crazy that the reporters are not interested in the why.
No,
reporters should be interested in the why. It's how you get to sell more papers. Not let's solve the crime and then go home and get married.
Yeah, I mean, maybe back in the day that's how they did it. But
maybe that's why it all sucked more back then. Alrighty, Kevin. So, Shriek in the Night was your pick.
Yes.
Let's go ahead and give us your final thoughts and score.
Yeah, final thoughts and score. I thought this would be going to be better, but it is dragged out and long for a hour and 5-minute movie, unfortunately. Only a great part about this is Ginger Rogers in this because she does act above everybody else, but it's unfortunately it's not that hard to act above the other people in this movie. There are a couple of cool shots in this that I went over with the shadow, and they got my hopes up for 2 parts of this movie to make it a little bit eerie or creepy or more crime investigative in this, and it just didn't hit. It was more about drama and reporters, and unfortunately that gave it 22 out of 100, which is 1 star out of 5.
Oof. There you go. For me, I thought this movie was terrible. It has a couple of bright spots. Ginger Rogers is fantastic. And there's also some just funny line delivery, which I'll give it some points for. And it does feel sort of original. I mean, M was a German film, but it had a similar idea. But, it was 2 years before this. Also looks better. But yeah, the rest of this movie is awful, though. It feels so slow for a movie that's so short. It looks muted. It looks muddled. It looks blurry. And I'm not factoring in the colorization into this because that's not
because I
quality. And I just saw my mistake. I selected the wrong version on Tubi, but it still doesn't make it better. Like it's just worse. It's a bad movie. It's a steaming bowl of nothing. So I gave it an 11 out of 100, which is a half a star out of 5 on Letterboxd. And that's not because it's old. It's just because it doesn't do anything.
No, and then like we were saying, the black and white version wasn't even better than the colorized version too. We still had the tearing and everything.
It's the same movie.
That. Exactly.
So, but that question now falls to you. What did you think of A Shriek in the Night? Go ahead and leave that down in the comment section down below. But remember to be respectful of one another because it's really not that hard. But next week, we are starting our August month-long theme. And our August month-long theme is going to be celebrating films from directors of color, which we are very excited to talk about. And our first film is the 1991 drama Boys in the Hood. So very excited. I've been wanting to watch this for a long time. So make sure to watch it before next week so you aren't spoiled. But thanks so much for watching. Of course, we have our live stream that goes live every single Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we have this show that goes live every single Friday at 4 a.m. Pacific Standard Time when I remember to edit it and release it. So thank you, everyone, for watching. And until next time, make sure to keep those eyes on the screen.